Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Today, it's not tea time, it's car time. I'm in the car. It's a little bit of a crazy week. It's Friday. TGIF, people. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. We're going to have a really nice weekend to kind of recoup from this week. It has been it's just been nuts. I don't know what else to say. It's been a really busy week. So we're doing this from the car because I'm on the road to go pick up focus pyramids. You know, I'm the inventor of the focus pyramid autofocus lens calibration tool. I made them about 10, 11 years ago. And we sell just all over the world these things. They are for DSLRs, for basically calibrating your lenses. So you get the absolute best, sharpest image possible. So anyways, excuse the shifting and the moving and the bumping and jarring and all that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this just the same in the car. So we're getting on the road. We're going to be heading back right now. So we're going to have about half an hour here. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But before I get into it, today's topic of 2021 World Awards from TIPA. I wanted to do this because I thought that it was interesting fodder for thought, food for thought. I think it's really good seeing where different camera manufacturers are settling in from year to year, let's say, from the offerings that they have. And the TIPA, if you guys agree with their awards or not, it's still a recognized award system for years now. So anyways, we're going to go through them. It's basically top 10 in different categories. Before I do, I want to say that if you haven't went over to JCristina.com/ebook, go over there. You'll get my ebook for free. It's called 10 Tips at Making Tack Sharp Images. There's something there for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a professional, a pro-am, or an amateur, you're going to get something out of it. So once again, JCristina.com/ebook, 10 Tips at Making Tack Sharp Images. Also, if you have not cleaned your sensors as of late, you really need to. There's no reason to take off those dust particles and smears and grime in post-production. It's a waste of time. Time is money. Go and pick up some Aurora Camera Care products. Aurora Camera Care is a system that I put together for Micro Four Thirds, aps-c, as well as full frame. And it allows you to take two swabs, a dry swab and a pre-moistened swab, to clean your sensor. Very simple, very quick, safe, easy. No guessing on how much juice to use, how much cleaner to use, and they just simply work. They are loved throughout the world. We sell them over on B&H Photo and Video, on Amazon, through Amazon Prime, through my website, JCristina.com, and of course in hundreds of mom and pops throughout the world, camera stores. There's not a lot of them anymore, but there's still hundreds. Anyway, so pick those up. So I put some notes together as far as these TIP. I'm going to stick it onto my dash here before we get moving again. And this way we can talk about them a little bit. Now, I'm going to give you the, let's say, the division or the category that it's in, but I'm also going to give you the price and what it is and why I think that it's interesting, because some of this stuff is interesting. And I'll get to a lot of that at the end. So to start out with the TIPA 2021 World Awards, they start with the best aps-c camera. Now this is entry level. They divide it into like entry level, advanced, and expert, let's say, and they also have some professional in there. I'll tell you what category it is as we go. Anyways, this is the best entry level aps-c camera, and that goes to Canon, the EOS M50 Mark II. Now, I've always said that I don't think that camera is that great in comparison to the first one. Is it a good camera? Yes, it is. The problem is it's very iterative. It is not innovative. It's the same old, same old. I called it basically a firmware update. So if you want to pick up one of those M series and you like the M50, just buy the M50. I always said don't spend the extra money on the M50 Mark II. You can get a used M50 and call it a day. There's not that much in there to be seen. The cost of that is $700. Now moving on to the advanced category of aps-c, and that goes to Fujifilm's XS10. Now the XS10 did phenomenally. They sold a ton of these cameras, and that comes in at $1,000. Really a good camera. And then when we go to Expert, all right, the next above the Advanced, the Expert of aps-c, that goes to something that I would never have guessed, and I bet you guys won't guess either what it is. It goes to the Pentax K3 Mark III. What? Honestly, I was like floored when I saw that, but it does. And that camera comes in at $2,000. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. But for now, let me get onto the highway before we end up dead, and then I can't talk to you at all. Anyways, moving into full frame. Full frame cameras, when it comes to advanced to start out with, goes to the Nikon Z6 Mark II. That is exceptional for Nikon. Exceptional. Because we know that Nikon supposedly has been having some hard times. You will see here in these awards, it doesn't look that way, but we'll get into that once again towards the end. Now the next category would be Expert when it comes to full frame. And the Expert class will go to the Nikon Z7 Mark II. Once again, Nikon takes it. And then finally, for full frame, we have the Pro. And the Pro goes to the Sony Alpha A1. What you guys are recognizing here is there is no Canon, right? There is no Canon on these. I'll get into that also at the end. Now, if we move into the next category, which is the photo video cameras in the advanced category, it goes to a Sigma FPL. That was very surprising to me that Sigma picked up this top position when it comes to photo video cameras. Now, in photo video cameras under Expert, it goes to the Sony Alpha 7S3. Now, the A7S3 is a phenomenal camera. It has a smaller sensor, still full frame, but smaller megapixel sensor, but it does everything that it's supposed to do, and it does it right. So, can I see it winning? Yes, that makes sense. Now, moving into medium format. Medium format goes straight over to Fujifilm. Would you guess anything else? Probably not. Fujifilm with their GFX 100S takes the top position. All right, that is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Kudos to Fujifilm to have the foresight to go into medium format, moving forward instead of backwards, and not going into the bloodbath, as we know, for full frame mirrorless. Now, the next thing is vlogging cameras. And for vlogging, they picked the Sony ZV-1. Now, that is the exact camera that I use in studio when you see me recording. The Sony ZV-1, I think, is a phenomenal camera. It is a great value. For the money that you pay for it, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. $750 for that camera is hands down cheap. Just simply cheap. Now, what I want to do is I want to backtrack a little bit because I didn't give you prices, and I want you guys to know what the prices of these are. We left off with the Pentax at $2,000. The Nikon Z6 Mark II is $2,600. The Nikon Z7 Mark II is $3,500. The Sony Alpha 1 is $6,500, and the Sigma FPL is $1,700, and finally that Sony Alpha A7S3 is $3,500. I guess we can't leave out the medium format, which maybe you guys want to. $6,000 for the Fujifilm GFX 100S, but well worth the money. Well worth the money. Get into that also in a minute. Finally, on this list of cameras, we see the best professional video camera. This was surprising to me also. Panasonic takes it with the Lumix DC BGH1. That is a $2,000 camera. I think that is also fascinating because Canon, once again, does not get that spot, even though their C series is so well acclaimed in the market. When it comes to video, when it comes to cinema, their C series really takes it. They do an amazing job. The C500, the C700, hands down, amazing. Expensive, but amazing. But we see the Panasonic BGH1 taking it for $2,000. Now, let me flip this paper a little bit here and go to the back side, because I put some lenses on here too, because they do both cameras and lenses, and I want to share those with you also because a lot of you are in the market to purchase lenses and you want to know how much are they, which ones are top rated in the different fields, let's say, the different categories. So to start out with, the best prime wide angle lens out there, according to TIPA, is the Laowa 15mm f 4.5 0D shift. That thing comes in at $1,200. They take the first position. Then we also have the best prime standard lens coming in with the Sony FE 50mm 1.2 GM. I can see that being a top lens because it is really an amazing lens for Sony. 50mm 1.2 GM. Now we go to the best prime telephoto lens, and that goes to Canon's RF 600 f11 SI STM. SI is image stabilized, and it comes in at $700. Let me backtrack. The Sony 50mm is $2,000. Now moving into the best wide-angle zoom lens, and that goes to Nikon with their Nikkor Z 14 to 24mm f2.8s. That is $2,200. Now next we have a best standard zoom lens, and that goes to Tamron. Now Tamron 17 to 70 f2.8 Di3A VC RXD. My God, how many acronyms, right guys? Anyways, that is $1,000. And second Tamron lens that comes in as the best telephoto zoom lens goes to the Tamron 70 to 180 f2.8 Di3 VXD, and that's at $1,200. Now we move into some Sigma lenses. Now the best ultra telephoto is the Sigma 100 to 400 f 5 to 6.3 DG DN-OS. That comes in at $950. We also have the best portrait lens, which is the Sigma 85mm 1.4 DG DN art lens. Now, Sigma's art lenses are amazing. Period, hands down. If you haven't tried any of their art lenses, check them out. You will be impressed, and they are cheaper than the major manufacturer's glass. Now the last lens on the list is a macro, once again from Sigma. It is the Sigma 105mm f2.8 DG DN macro, once again art lens. That comes in at $800. The previous lens, that 1.4 85, was $1,200, just in case I didn't tell you. Now we see what the cameras are, we see what the lenses are. Now, let's talk about them just a little bit. What has happened here? What we see, number one, is that Nikon and Sony are crushing it when it comes to full-frame still cameras, period. Canon is nowhere to be seen for 2021. That means no R5. That means no R6. That means that they have found that the Nikon, for example, the Z6 as well as the Z7 Mark IIs are better, for what they say, than the Canon R6 as well as the R5. Do you believe that? I don't know. But we do see Sony, the Alpha 1, the professional grade camera, does take the #1 position for pro camera, and I can see that being the case. Why? Because companies like Nikon and Canon have not come out with their professional mirrorless yet. We see Canon's going to be coming out with their R3, most likely an R1 coming soon. The same thing with Nikon. So there's going to be competition, but we won't see that until 2022. Also, when it comes to video, I do find it amazing that Panasonic takes the #1 position away from Canon, all right, with their BGH1 in comparison to a Canon C-Series anything. And that includes the cheaper C70 that they came out with, that a lot of photographers, videographers are using as of late. It is a really good, affordable camera, but they're liking the Panasonic better. Now, as far as medium format, like I said, I was going to get back into it. Medium format, there's no one in the game anymore, in my personal opinion. Yes, we have Hasselblad. Yes, we have Phase. The problem is the Phase, the Hasselblad, those things are $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Whereas people are looking at the GFX line, like this brand new GFX 100S, and saying, wow, for $6,000 I can get a medium format. Now, bear in mind, the GFX line is a crop, let's call it crop sensor medium format. If that's even a thing, it's kind of not, but let's just call it. It is smaller. The sensor is definitely smaller than what you would see in a Hasselblad or in a Phase 1. But for $6,000, what you're getting for it is an amazing, once again, value. And that's what people are looking for. And that goes back into the vlogging cameras. The Sony ZV-1 is an amazing value for $750. Hands down, the best vlogging camera, period. It just works out. It is very small. It has a built-in lens. You're not having to change the lenses. It does a really good job for what it is. And that's where we always have to look at this stuff. What is your use case? What do you need it to do? And what does the camera, what does the lens, what does the equipment do? Does it do what you need it to do? And if it does, that's the best to you. Not necessarily to the TIPA awards, right? It's what's best for you. Now, the other thing that I thought was fascinating was that Fujifilm's X-T4, even though it's older, didn't come in a top position where it always has been. It is a really incredible mirrorless APS-C camera, period. Unbelievable. But what we kind of saw took its spot was a DSLR, the only DSLR in the mix, and that is that Pentax K3 Mark III. That really says a lot, guys. That says a lot. When that DSLR takes the spot, let's call it the spot, of Fujifilm's X-T4, I think that is unbelievably amazing for Pentax. That means to me, people are kind of overlooking Pentax a little bit, in my personal opinion. That K3 Mark III is an amazing piece of kit for a couple of $1,000s. You could probably get it about $1,900 or so with just body only. But it is an amazing, amazing camera. And yes, it is a DSLR, but does it matter? And what does Pentax do with this? Seeing that they're doing so well with that K3 Mark III, are they going to move into mirrorless, or will they just make even a better DSLR? And the question also is, do you need a mirrorless camera, or could you go with like DSLR like this? Once again, it goes to your use case. What do you need it for? What do you do with it? And do you really need mirrorless, or do you not? Yes, DSLRs will eventually go away. They'll go away like the dodo bird did and the dinosaur, as I always say. But for now, they're still here. And for the price, there is some really good value, and especially if you pick up some used DSLRs out there. You could get Canon's product, for example, like 5Ds, a 5DS, a 5D Mark IV, for a really, really cheap price. When I say cheap, once again, value. For what you pay and what you get, the value is simply there. And the other thing that I really liked about the list this year for the TIPA 2021 awards is the lenses. I like to see that the third-party companies, those third-party glass, are taking up #1 positions for many categories. And companies like Canon and Sony and Nikon only have a couple on the list, where we see Sigma with 3 on the list and we see Tamron with 2 on the list. That is amazing to me, and I think that really, really speaks volumes. And it makes me want, or think that probably you guys would want also, Canon as well as to Nikon to open up the platform, open up their mounts to the bigger third parties. There's some third party glass out there, but it's kind of it's a little hokey. So I want to see Sigma and I want to see Tamron come up with some really amazing RF glass, Z-mount glass, and see what they could do. But we know the camera manufacturers don't want that yet. Why? Because they want to command a premium on their glass, their new glass. For example, Canon with their RF glass. They want to command a premium for as long as they can, and then eventually open it up for the third parties. For right now, they want you to buy their glass and not third parties. Now, I think companies like Canon kind of got it a little bit whack here by putting together an adapter, an EF to RF adapter that was so damn amazing. I'm talking about about both adapters are amazing, but I really, really love the adapter that has the built-in filter slot. Now, if you don't know why that's amazing, well, what that means is you can buy one set of ND filters or polarizing filters, right? You don't have to have a filter for every different size lens because you know they're all different. You just buy one set, you slip it in the bottom of that RF to EF, EF to RF adapter, and now you have the benefit of that polarizer or the benefit of the ND filter on any glass that you snap onto it. That is awesome, guys. I want to see cameras have those filters built into them, like right into the flange, right into the bottom of the camera. You can slide in a filter. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I would sacrifice that little bit of an extra lip to be able to have that. I think that is great. Now, obviously, different filter manufacturers wouldn't like that too much, but it is what it is, right? Because you'll buy one batch instead of buying a whole bunch. So I think that is absolutely awesome. Once again, I love that the third parties are really crushing it when it comes to these awards this year. That really, really speaks, once again, volumes, that they're really doing a great job. Sigma, with their art lenses, if you haven't tried them, try them out. We see Tamron always up there at the top. Their glass is phenomenal. My sharpest lens that I have, and I have tens of thousands of Canon glass, all Pro L glass, right? My sharpest lens that I have in the entire studio is a Tamron 90mm macro. Take it for what you will. It is what it is. It is facts. I actually got rid of my Canon 100 macro because this Tamron 90 was so damn good. So there's a lot of third parties out there that really produce amazing glass, and I would recommend that you guys test out some third-party glass whenever possible. Either rent it in, maybe bring your camera body into a photography store, test out these lenses because you would really be surprised on how good they are. I was always a lens snob, buying only Canon glass for many, many years. Of course, as a DP for some episodic TV programs and whatnot, we use all sorts of lenses. We use Zeiss, we use some Canon glass that's adapted onto Panasonic, EVA 1s and other cameras, some Reds. So we use all kinds of glass. But when we're shooting in studio, it was always Canon. Pro glass only. And then I started getting into some third party, and there is some really amazing glass. Once again, amazing glass for the value, and value is what people are looking for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these cameras and all of these lenses into the description as well as into the comments, and I'll add a link that will go over to the Amazon page. That Amazon page would be my page, and if you picked up one of these lenses, I would get 25 cents or something, you know, so you can help out the channel if you want to. Once again, I'll put those links in there. 100% full disclosure. If you want to click them, fine. If not, you can look them up however else you would like to. So those will be in there. And what do you think? This is my question. What do you think about all of this? What do you think about the awards? What do you think about the TIPA 2021 awards? What do you think about Nikon and Sony crushing basically Canon when it comes to still cameras? Canon is only sitting there with the M50 Mark II. And I think it's basically an iteration of one. There's nothing innovative there, right? What do you think about no R5 and no R6? The Sony Alpha 1 taking the position for professional. We don't see professional yet with Canon or Nikon, so I can see that. What do you also think about video? Do you think that the C70 could have overtaken the Panasonic BGH1 or not? What do you think about medium format? Is that something that you would be interested in the future, whereas we see a 100 megapixel GFX 100S at $6,000, guys? You could get a 50R for like $3,000 and some dollars. It's crazy what you can actually buy when it comes to medium format today in comparison to full frame. And finally, the aps-c side. What do you think about a DSLR coming into the top 10 position? Wow. That was amazing to me, absolutely amazing. And Pentax does it with their K3 Mark III. Awesome, guys, awesome. I want to hear your thoughts on that. So if you enjoyed this content sitting here in the car, give it a thumbs up. That will be helpful. Also, subscribe to the channel. We have like 550 plus videos here. There's a ton of evergreen content for you to enjoy. Check it out. Also, click the little bell icon over here so that when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. Also, when we're done talking down here in the comment area, go to community.JCristina.com. Once again, community.JCristina.com. It's our creative Discord server. We chat there 24/7, 365 days a year. There's hundreds and hundreds of photographers, videographers, and tech heads there. Check it out. No trolls allowed. It's just a great place to hang out and chat. Also, if you want to help the channel monetarily, you can click the little join button right down here. When you join, you become a member. I can give you perks. You give $1 or $2 a month or something, whatever you can, and that's basically it. I would really appreciate that. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for myself and you over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That would be stellar. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy. Take care.